Back to our channel. Now mainly we are going to discuss about the superficial muscles of the posterior compartment of your forearm. So already in our previous videos we discussed the superficial muscles and the deep muscles of front of forearm or the anterior compartment. So mainly now we are discussing about the posterior compartment, also called as extensor compartment. Most of these muscles are supplied by a radial nerve. Of course some by superficial branch of radial nerve and some by the deep branch of radial nerve. Okay, let us find out what are those muscles and what is its origin and what is its insertion, and also the nerve supply and action of the muscles. So same like every muscle. So let us start with our posterior superficial muscles. So first you have anconeus. So I will also say a trick to remember them. So anconeus is the first muscle. So where is anconeus? Try to find it out over here. Okay, you can see here this is the anconeus muscle, and next comes the brachioradialis muscle. So you can see here this is the brachioradialis. So you can start, the alphabets are like starting from A, B, right? So like that you can remember A, B, anconeus, brachioradialis muscle. Okay, A, B, and next comes up extensor carpi radialis. Now we'll move to the radius side. Okay, it means towards the thumb side. So thumb side, of course, you'll have extensor carpi radialis longus. One is long muscle and one is short muscle, extensor carpi radialis brevis. Okay, find out that extensor carpi radialis longus. You can see this is extensor carpi radialis longus and this is extensor carpi radialis brevis. So first AB, next you went to the radius side. Okay, after radius side, of course, we'll think of ulnar side. So in the ulnar side, you have mainly your extensor carpi ulnaris. Okay, on radial side, you have extensor carpi radialis longus and also extensor carpi radialis brevis, right? On ulnar side, you have only one muscle, that is extensor carpi ulnaris muscle. Okay, and after that, remember extensor digitorum, which are going to the digits. Okay, and among all these digits we are giving some special importance to our minimi, digiti minimi, that is our little finger, because there is also another muscle called extensor digiti minimi. You can say extensor digiti minimi, which is specially going to your little finger. So these are all the muscles of your posterior compartment. So very easy to remember. First remember A, B. First start your discussion with A, B. A anconeus, B brachioradialis. Next go to radial side. You will have extensor carpi radialis longus, extensor carpi radialis brevis, and next go to ulnar side. Then you will have extensor carpi ulnaris muscle, only one muscle. Next come to digits, extensor digitis, extensor digit, what is it? Extensor digitorum. Okay, and next you have extensor digiti minimi. That's it. So by this we completed all the muscles of your superficial muscles of your posterior compartment of your forearm. So now let us see what is its insertion, origin, etc. Okay, first with anconeus. If you see the anconeus, it is getting its origin from the lateral epicondyle of humerus. So if you remember the superficial muscles of anterior compartment of your forearm, there is a common flexor origin for them, that is a medial epicondyle of humerus, right? But here in the case of your extensors or the posterior compartment superficial muscles, they have their common origin as lateral epicondyle of humerus for most of them. Of course some exceptions are there that we'll discuss. So just remember, most of the posterior superficial muscles have a common origin from lateral epicondyle. So anconeus also have its origin from lateral epicondyle of humerus, right? From there it gets inserted into the lateral surface of olecranon process of ulna. So insertion into lateral process of olecranon, this is the lateral process, right? Lateral process of olecranon process of ulna. So from the lateral epicondyle of humerus to lateral process of lateral process of olecranon process of ulna, that is the insertion of anconeus muscle. So this anconeus muscle is supplied of course by a radial nerve. So what is the action? It extends the elbow joint, extension, this position only. Okay, extension of elbow joint is done by anconeus attached to the lateral part of olecranon process of ulna, coming from the lateral epicondyle, supplied by radial nerve, useful for extension of forearm. Done. Next moving to the brachioradialis, as I said after A, B. So brachioradialis muscle as the name only, it gets inserted. So brachio means what? Your arm. So it is coming from the upper 2/3 of supracondyle ridge of humerus. So as I said, some the exceptions are there. So that is for your brachioradialis, because it is not coming from lateral epicondyle of humerus, but instead it is coming from supracondylar ridge, lateral supracondylar ridge of a humerus, especially upper 2/3 part. Okay, and it is getting inserted into base of styloid process. See, base of styloid process of your radius. In the name you can see brachioradialis. Brachio, it's taking its origin from humerus, especially supracondylar upper to third part, and inserted into base of styloid process of radius. So that is the name radialis. Okay. So by which nerve it will be supplied? Of course, radial nerve. So for what it is useful? For the flexion of forearm, especially at elbow joint here. So especially here, if you want to flex your forearm, this muscle is useful, and also rotates forearm to mid prone position. Mid prone position is like this. Okay, this is the mid prone position. So also for the mid prone position it is useful, especially from supine to prone position like this. So supine to prone position, this is full prone position, but mid prone is like this. So even for this mid prone position you need this brachioradialis muscle. So according to its name only, it has its origin and insertion origin from supracondylar ridge of humerus, inserting into the base of styloid process of your radius. Done. Next, coming to a extensor carpi radialis longus. First we'll talk about extensor carpi radialis longus. So it is getting its origin of course from lower one third of lateral supracondylar ridge of humerus. Okay, lower one third of lateral supracondylar ridge of humerus, and it is getting inserted into the posterior surface of base of second metacarpal bone. So second metacarpal bone is nothing but the index fingers metacarpal bone, right? So to that base it will get inserted. So this extensor carpi radialis longus is mainly supplied by our, of course, the radial nerve, and it extends and abducts hand, especially at wrist joint. So it extend and abduct hand at the wrist joint. Okay. Next, coming to extensor carpi radialis brevis. So this brevis will come from common one, that is lateral epicondyle of humerus, and insert to the posterior surface of base of third metacarpal. So in order, extensor carpi radialis longus will attach to the second metacarpal base. Now this brevis will attach to the third metacarpal base. Okay. So it is also supplied by radial nerve, especially deep branch. So from here it is somewhat different, because extensor carpi radialis brevis is supplied by deep branch, whereas longus is supplied by normal branch. Okay, radial nerve. But brevis is for deep branch of radial nerve. It also extend and abducts hand, especially at your wrist joint. Okay. Next, coming to the extensor digitorum muscle. Okay, you can see this one. This is the extensor digitorum muscle. So it is also getting its origin from lateral epicondyle of humerus, getting inserted into base of middle phalange of second to fifth digit. So from second to fifth digit, all its bases is giving attachment to your extensor digiti muscle. Okay, extensor digitorum muscle. It is also supplied by deep branch of radial nerve, and it extends your fingers like this. Extends your fingers. Okay. Next, coming to extensor digiti minimi. Extensor digiti minimi, especially for your little finger, right? So it is originating from lateral epicondyle of humerus, and it is getting inserted into base of especially fifth metacarpal, because fifth metacarpal is your little finger, and of course it is supplied by deep branch of radial nerve. It extends especially the metacarpophalangeal joint of the little finger. So metacarpophalangeal joint of the little finger. Next, coming to the last muscle, that is extensor carpi ulnaris. So if you see here, this is extensor carpi ulnaris. So it is getting its origin from the lateral epicondyle of humerus, and it is inserted into base of again the fifth metacarpal. Okay, because it's on ulnar side, so inserted in the base of fifth metacarpal. So it is also supplied by deep branch of radial nerve. It mainly extends and adducts at the hand at the wrist joint. So it extends and adducts the hand at the wrist joint. So this is all about the superficial muscles of posterior compartment of your forearm. So what is the trick to remember? First remember A and B, that is anconeus, next the brachioradialis, and next remember extensor carpi radialis longus, extensor carpi radialis brevis, next remember extensor carpi ulnaris, next remember extensor digitorum, next to remember the extensor digiti minimi muscle. So by this we completed the posterior compartment superficial muscles of your forearm. Next we will discuss about the deep muscles of posterior compartment of forearm.